Moving on to the next binder here, as you can see, it's got a photo of Sehun at the front. So this is the other binder that I have all the other collections that I haven't gone too in depth yet, but I do have some photo cards, so I keep it in like a little collection here. And then opening this one here, I still need to also decorate this one here, but we've just got an EXO pepper doll thing from a container from years ago. And then we start off with my collection here. So we have a Sehun photo page here. It's not too in-depth just because EXO's photo cards, once I started properly collecting, they were a lot harder to grab just because a lot of them weren't being printed, or there were a lot of, I guess, fakes being sold. So I've got these ones here, the EXO-SCs, some Cashbees, a Nature Republic, and then some from the photo albums. I try and trade when I can, but it is kind of hard just because a lot of the albums were sold quite a while ago, so there's not many people looking for a trade, as well as the fact that he is a little bit more sought after. And then next we go into my second bias for EXO, which is Baekhyun. Baekhyun's is a lot easier just because he does have solo albums. So obviously we've got some from City Lights, and then we've got the ones from Delight. I don't know why I blanked on that one. And then one from an EXO album. Once I get my Bambi albums, then I'll be able to go and complete this page as well as start a new one on this one. I did get 4 albums, 2 of the photo books and then 2 of the jewel cases. And then going into this one here, this is the Super M page as it's at the moment. As you can see, I've got group cards as well as unit cards, and then we have the other 2 members here. I could probably put 10s here from the previous collection, but I'm still trying to decide what I want to do, especially because I didn't buy the Super 1 Asia press, as well as the fact that I think they're coming back soon before Baekhyun goes on enlistment, so I'll have to see what I want to do with this page here. But then we move into Monsta X. My bias for Monsta X is shownu, and this is the only group that I've seen live in concert, and it really just solidified that he was my bias once seeing him in concert. But I have his Kino card, which was a lot easier to grab when they were all in the Kino instead of it being separate like they've done now. But we've got some ID cards, normal album cards from the season's greetings, and then unit cards. And then once Monsta X has another album, I'll be able to fill up another page and then kind of organize it how I want. And then I have a complete page of shownu's Fatal Love collection, apart from obviously the bigger ones like the bookmarks and things like that. But this one here, I've also got the Sub K and the K-Town For You pre-order benefits. So I thought this was like a nice page because it's one album and it all kind of just fits nicely. This was pretty easy to trade for, luckily, because I know that it was a lot harder for other people to find the cards just because they were separated. But then after shownu, we go into Wonho, who is my second bias in Monsta X, and again, because he's got his own solo albums now, it's a lot easier for me to collect his cards. But this is all his part 1. Part 2 is on the way. It was delayed quite a bit for whatever reason, but then after that I'll be able to fill up this page here, probably try and see if I can move this around somewhere else, but this is the other ones that I've pulled from his albums. And then we go into the rest of Monsta X. Because Monsta X cards fit perfectly in a 9 pocket, I do like keeping them. They obviously also take really nice photo cards. These ones here especially, like just the flowers in the background, it's just so nice. But yeah, the way it looks here, as well as the backgrounds, how they used to be all uniform, is just, oh, so satisfying. So that's why I usually keep the cards. Again, I also like to keep the cards of most members if I can. And for Monsta X, I've actually got all of this. So this one here, this is the follow page as well as a random Gihyun card. This used to have more in it, but I tried to decide how I wanted to move things around, and then this is where I'm at the moment. The Fantasia X page. So we've got the normal cards here, the rest of the keynotes, and then a unit PC. I was trying to get the IM and the Hyungwon card here instead, but I just couldn't find a trade for it, so I've got this here for now until I can get that one there. And then we've got the rest of the Fatal Love albums here, the cards at least. As you can see here, there is like a little bit of a dent just because I hope Starship never packages in the same way they did this one here. The amount of like creases and bands was just ridiculous. But this is this one here, again, really great photo cards. And then we go into the unit page as well as the All About Love cards. Just because they aren't the same size as the others, I kind of didn't want to mix it in and create like a weird size difference. So I thought to keep them here with the unit cards and group cards just to make it easier on this one here. And then here we've got some more Fatal Love cards as well as the pre-order benefit cards, message cards, things like that. And then we go into Twice. So this one here is where I don't have as full collections or full pages of things. It's kind of as I buy the albums, I put them in the binder and then decide later on whether I want to complete collections. But because my main group, which is NCT at the moment, has so many cards, it's kind of like, unfortunately these are on the back burner, but I will come back to them later on once I've finished at least NCT 2020. But these are from the Yes or Yes pre-order cards, which I do love that JYP has these, as well as many cards. But if you were an avid collector, I feel like it'd be quite annoying trying to collect that many cards. But I have these ones here from the albums that I've got, so it's just a little range on the back here, but super cute cards. And then we go into Stray Kids on this one. This one here, as you can see, I've only bought a couple albums from Stray Kids. I want to buy more, but every time I do try and buy it, they always sell it out. So I've just kind of kept them as I can, like similar people in the sections, but once I get more, then I'll be able to organize it a little bit better. And then we've got the miscellaneous girl group page. So we've got Irene, some Red Velvet, the other Twice cards, Girls Gen, and then some little fun cards from the Twice pre-order benefit pack. And then we go into the EXO page. I did think this was actually a little earlier on. I think I probably accidentally put this when I was rearranging my binder before. But as you can see, I don't have all members, unfortunately. It probably would be easy just because they would all fit on a 9 pocket, but Lay's albums are quite hard. Every time I've tried to buy them, they've been sold out. And then for this one here, obviously we've got Xiumin, Suho, and we've got Chanyeol, but I am missing a Kai card from EXO as well as Kyungsu's. Kyungsu's is really hard to grab. I've been trying to grab one of his cards for a while, but unfortunately no. But if he has a solo album this year, then I'll be able to grab that. And then once Kai's album comes back into stock, I'll be able to grab that as well. And then hopefully Lay's at the same time. Then we go into BTS as well as a couple miscellaneous cards. So Taehyung is my bias from BTS, and then after that it's kind of just the cards I've collected from the albums I've bought. Because they are a lot more popular, it is harder to get their cards, so I don't stress too much with like buying the albums, just because it usually is a mass panic once they come out, and then once it comes time when it's like died down a little bit, it's harder to buy once I've got the backlog of all my other groups for this one here. But we've got a Minho one here and then a Youngjae one here. But I do want to get more shiny albums, but I'll have to decide which ones I'm going to get and then how I'm going to store it later on. And then again, once Shiny's album comes back into stock, I'll be able to get the, I want to say it's called Don't Call Me, but whichever one for that one there. And then this one here is a random NCT CC page. And then we have the bigger items for these groups here. So we've got stuff from the Seasons greetings, I'm pretty sure, for Monsta X, the Stray Kids postcards, random NCT postcards, and then we go into EXO-SC postcards from the 2 albums on these ones here, Baekhyun's postcards as well as message cards on this one here. It is kind of annoying that they didn't have a message card for this one, but they're on the back, so it's fine. And then we have the standees from Follow, some of the postcards from Fantasia X on this one here. I do have this Minhyuk, I think triangle standee, I think that's what they called it, on the way. It's just a little delayed at the moment, but then I'll be able to complete all of the pre-order, but I'm pretty sure they're still with the album at the moment. One's for Fantasia X, but I've just got this Juhon one in the meantime. So we have those ones there, and then we've got the rest of the members over here. And then we have the bookmarks. I do need to find a better page for these just because they are like a little bit all over the shop. We have these wonho postcards. I did complete the set for these as well as the film strips. And then just some Follow bookmarks. And then just some more postcards as well as this lenticular for Mina, if that would move. It won't. Some bigger inclusions for Stray Kids albums. Again, super hard to try and like put in, but they're fine for now. More bigger inclusions, spares, and then just again spare pages on these ones here, and then the excess for my Fatal Love albums. And then we have just a random NCT diary page from Empathy albums, and then just back here of just random stuff from my binder, and then that's that for that one there. So that concludes my binder flip through for these 2 here, and that is all for that one there. And that concludes the flip through of these 2 binders here, as well as my collection. If you have any questions, just leave them below, but that is it. Thank you. Bye.